say you never get a second chance to make a first impression. When it comes to houses, that first impression starts out here. Improving curb appeal doesn't always require a major undertaking. Sometimes a few smaller projects can make a big difference. That means trimming, pruning, snipping, even chopping. But you know, I just got a manicure, so I called for reinforcements on this one.
Pruning is one of those stealth landscaping techniques that you can do that does a lot to improve the curb appeal of your yard, and it also improves the health of your plants and your trees. And in my case, I came in here and I pruned out some of this because I wanted to open up the view to the house. But I look up here and I look at all these overhanging branches, and in this case I found this tree and it had a branch that was growing out and shading out some of my azaleas and also blocking the view to the house. But a tool like this, which is a pole pruner, is an ideal choice when you want to clear out some of these branches and they're out of reach. Like in this case, I'm going to take out some of this dead growth right up here. So I'll take the pole pruner and I'll simply pull it like this, and off come those dead branches. It couldn't be easier, and I got a lot of leverage with a tool like this. And what's nice is that this extends up to 12 feet. So by simply activating this lever, I can lift up this pole, re-secure it, and get up here way beyond what I can reach normally, or even with a ladder. This is much safer because my feet stay on the ground. Now when we talk about curb appeal, we're not just talking about the view from the street to the house. Curb appeal applies to your entire yard. And here I am in the backyard, and I'm taking a look at some of the lower growing foliage that I have around the house and up against the house. In this case, I have a dianthus shrub. This is certainly in need of some pruning, and there's no better tool for this than these floral snips. For this tool, I'm deadheading. So I'm coming in here, and because it's long enough and it's very sharp, I can get in here and really do some precision cutting. Having the right tool for the job certainly makes that job a lot easier. And tools that have engineering in them like this is a power gear mechanism that makes this head shear so much easier to use. In fact, it increases the cutting power 3 times that of a normal pair of head shears. Also with this design, the leverage is transferred all the way up to the tip of the blade, so I'm able to cut at the very tip, and that's unique to this tool. This tool also received the Arthritis Foundation accommodation for ease of use, another unique feature making this tool much easier to use. Now I have a bed of azaleas here that needs a little bit of cleanup. I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit of light pruning up here at the top. Snip, snip, snip. It's so easy. I get going pretty fast and pretty hard here, and the bumper in this tool makes that job a lot easier. It takes away some of that shock as I go through here, and give it a little more uniformity as I work to add some curb appeal to my yard. As I continue my pruning and cleanup process around my yard, I've come in closer to the house, and I have a ligustrum here that anchors the corner and softens up the edge of this house. But I've also limbed it up because I like having the shrubs underneath it, but I need light to get to this, and I like that open look of this plant. But it's been a while since I've limbed this up, and I'm coming in here and I'm noticing some things that I want to take out. I do need to open it up a little bit more, but mainly because I have now some crossing branches. And when you have crossing branches, you want to go ahead and get those out because you don't want that friction to continue out throughout the year, because that's going to open up a wound area where pest and disease could potentially overwinter. So a lopper, which is this tool right here, does the job the best. I can reach in here all the way out from the lawn. This is a 31-inch reach, and make a clean cut right up against the branch. Now, this is a 31-inch reach, and I can cut up to 2 inches of branch thickness. And I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to look through here, and I'm going to repeat this process. Inward growing branches or crossing branches are so easy to take out with a tool like this. And you know, there's a lot of engineering that goes into these designs, but I'm getting a nice adjustable power as I move through the cut from start to finish, not just at the beginning and at the end, but all the way through, and that makes the job that much easier. This is looks like somewhat of a dead branch, so I'm going to make an easy little cut right here and take that out. And again, that also opens up the view so I can see in here, and I can make sure that anything that's dead or crossing or diseased is coming out. Not only is that going to make this plant look better, but it's going to be healthier too. I think I like it. Time to move on. I love having the right tool in the garden, and I love great tools. And this is one of my favorites for the cleanup. This is a kangaroo or a collapsible expandable bag. And there's an internal spring here. So You know, when I'm not using this, I can put it in the garage, I can collapse it down to 3 inches. But when I'm ready to load it up, I've got 30 gallons of capacity here. And so as I do my pruning or any cleanup job, it's great to have this by my side because it's got a padded handle, it's lightweight, and I can take it wherever I go. But now, I'm still at my rose bush because I have some other pruning to do. But now that I've cleaned out the interior of the plant with the extended reach pruners, now I can use my hand pruners. And when you talk about hand pruners, there are essentially 2 styles of hand pruners. There's an anvil style, which is this one here, that has a flat plate on it, and the blade comes down against the plate and crushes the branch. Now, if I were doing that pruning here, there's the cutting action. The blade cut the branch. Now, really, this is an ideal pruner more for dead plant material, where it's just woody and we're not worried about the crushing action. But truthfully, if you have one pair of pruners, the best choice are what are called bypass pruners, where the blade comes across and makes a clean cut, and that's great for living tissue. And that's my tool of preference for any live pruning job like this. So I'm going to do some pruning here. I'm going to make some cuts. Now, there's a lot of techniques to pruning, but right now I'm just looking at some basic cleanup of this. I want to reduce the length. I want to get out that dead plant material and make some cuts around here. So I'll just do some general inspection, try to make a nice clean cut. That really needs to be cut. It doesn't matter how nice your garden looks. Weeds are a fact of life, even in my garden. But I don't like to use chemicals, so I'm going to go through here and hand pick my weeds. But hey, when there's a great tool around that makes the job a little more fun, then all the better. And this is called the uproot weeder. And what's neat about this is that it's especially useful for taprooted weeds. These prongs right here are long and they extend down into the soil to where the root is. And with a taprooted weed, it's really important that you get all the weed, because what happens if you don't get all the weed? Any portion of that taproot that's left produces a new weed. So this is going to come in here and it's going to grab the whole thing. Now, it's important to also note that this is not sharp, but these teeth are going to be there for a long time. They're not going to wear out, but they're going to grab the root below the surface and we're going to pull it out. So let me just show you how this works. And again, we're talking mostly about taprooted weeds like this stinging nettle right here. And I'll place this over the base of the plant and just push down into the mulch like that. Okay, so now I've sort of trapped it, and those prongs are surrounding the root underneath. I'm going to step on this, and by stepping on it, it's going to close up those prongs and it's going to pull that weed right out. Got the weed, and now I'm going to go boom, and out goes the weed, and that's going to work with any weed that I get. But off goes the weed, which is a lot of fun, and then I'm off to my next weed. And actually, I get to the point where I'm looking for another weed because I'm having so much fun, and this works so fast that I run out of weeds before I run out of fun.